Hey you guys, my name is Stella and today I'm here to talk about Pilates because there's good and then I just discovered yesterday there's not so good, and I just want to give a fair warning to anyone who's been interested in it or has seen creators talk about it or just people talk about it on TikTok. I personally learned about it through TikTok. Everyone just seemed to be having a really good time. Everyone was crediting like their shape and their butt and everything to Pilates. I had the same experience. I started Pilates December of 2023. And within 2 weeks, my butt was on fat. Like, it was crazy results. And I was doing it for a little bit while. And then I had a couple major life events. So it took me away from focusing on workouts. But now that I'm back into the routine, again, noticing great results. And the reason this workout is fantastic is because you don't really feel it in the middle of it unless you don't feel like that stinging burn, like when you're doing some kind of weight workout. You don't feel that stinging burn that makes it really hard to get through the workout. You're almost like, is this doing anything? Am I gaining anything out of this? And then most of the times you don't feel it till the next morning, or you may feel it later in the day. So I really enjoy that kind of workout where it feels like, is this even doing anything? And then all of a sudden your butt's fat and your waist slim. Like, it's cool. It's great. So I'm making this video because yesterday I had my first emergent situation as a result of Pilates. And I just wanted to come on here because although it's a fantastic way to work out, it is so it isolates your muscles in certain ways. And this is just like a really fair warning. So I've been back in Pilates, and yesterday I decided to book a class. I booked through ClassPass because it's way more affordable than booking through Club Pilates, but I only do my workouts through Club Pilates, or my Pilates classes through them, because they have reformer machines. They have all of the Pilates equipment. Now, you don't need reformers and TRX machines and all these things to do Pilates. So there are classes you can find that just use your own body weight. And that's how I was introduced to it, maybe when I was 16. I had never used reformers and contraptions until joining Club Pilates. So this was new, it was exciting. And when you use these workout machines, it feels very light on your body. And it's like, I don't even think I sweat during class. Honestly, I don't. I think there's like, maybe during abs sculpting days, I'd sweat a little bit, but most of the time you just feel it more than you sweat through it. So great workout for me. Well, 2 days ago, I booked a class, and she was like, oh, I'm like a regional manager or something. She was fantastic. I don't remember her name, but she was fantastic. And the class was only 3 credits. Typically Pilates is 7. So I was like, a discounted class, like, let's take it, whatever. And so I'm in class, and she was like, we're really isolating every muscle. And I was like, this is exciting. It felt like a stretch. She had this ball. She was showing us where to put it at home on our shoulder, how to like release tension in our shoulder. We were really focusing that day on isolating muscles. That Pilates class felt more like stretching than it did a workout. So I was leaving like, wow, like I feel stretched. I feel loose. I feel great. And we didn't do a lot of reformer work. We did a lot of floor work, a lot of wall work, a lot of spring work, but not a lot of typical Pilates moves. So yesterday, I'm driving, and I was on a long phone call, and I pulled up to my P.O. box, and out of nowhere, I look over I don't even know why I looked at my water bottle, but because I looked at my water bottle because I thought I just had a sudden hit of dehydration. I look over to my water bottle, and I had a pain that went from 0 to 9 instantaneously. And I didn't know what was happening. I do personally have a history of blood clots. Well, I've had one, so blood clot, but it felt like it was in my lungs, and I thought I was tripping. I was like, oh my gosh, am I dehydrated? It's like, let me just go inside, you grab my mail, and I'll come back, and I'll come meet I was on the way to meet my aunt anyway. I was like, I'll go meet my aunt. And I walk in the UPS store. There was only one person in front of me, but it was like my world just, I couldn't stand. To someone else, it probably looked like I was doing the pee-pee dance. Like I was like moving around trying to find comfort, but I just had this pain, what felt like my lungs just like, and I was so scared. And I was like, no, I can't do this. Like I was getting dizzy. By the time I got back to my car, I parked right in front of the store. I was profusely sweating. It's like 50 something degrees at this point. So I get in my car, I call my aunt and I was like, Auntie, something's really, really wrong. And I'm glad I was meeting this aunt because she is a massage therapist. And so I was like, you know, she knows a little bit of something about the body. I was like, something's really, really wrong. Like, instead of meeting where we were going to meet, can you meet me at my UPS? I don't even think I can drive. I turned my car on and like, this is where I lose it. I'm like dripping sweat. I have my windows down. I'm sure the person in the car next to me was like, what is this girl going through? I couldn't even sit like this. I couldn't sit at all. I was like trying to move worm. I couldn't do it. She was like, okay, I'll be there in 5 minutes, because we were supposed to meet pretty close. So she rushes over to me and she meets me. And I was like, Auntie, like, I need to go to the ER. Like, this is not funny. And in the meantime, I call my man and I was like, I really like, I know I'm dramatic sometimes. Like, I get panic attacks and he knows. Like, so he's calming me down, because usually with me, it's never emergent. Usually it's a panic attack and he knows how to like calm me down. I was like, babe, like, this is not a panic attack. Like, this is like, something's really wrong. He's like, okay, I'm on the way. Also good that you share locations, because I didn't have to be like, I'm here. So that was awesome. So, I'm freaking out. She's like, do you think you can get to the passenger side? I'll just drive your car. So she leaves her car there. I'm like, I can make it. So I just like run over here. I tried to put the seat down. Everything hurt. And I was like, Auntie, like, I don't know if I need to go to the ER. Like, I can't breathe. And she was like, I think you're having a panic attack too. So I can't really tell what it is, but we're just going to go take you to Nana's house and get you on her oxygen. And like, we'll see. So thankfully my dad's in town too. And so when he was an EMT for, I don't even know how long. So my dad's been a firefighter, a cop, and an EMT. So he has all the trainings on like the body, other than like being a doctor or nurse. And so the EMT part was important to me, because he'd be able to tell an emergent situation, like what to do. So we get to Nana's house. I don't even remember walking from the corner to Nana's actual house. And I go, and Nana's like, what's wrong? And my aunt, I could just hear her say, like, come here to my dad to the room. And like, I go lay out on Nana's bed. I can't even lay down. Like, I am in this excruciating pain and I can't breathe. Like, I'm having like labored breathing. And I was like, guys, like, I don't know if it's a blood clot. I don't know if it's a blood clot. I have this like fear of having another blood clot, because the first one was so unexpected. And so when I had called my man, I was like, there's Eliquis, which is a medication I don't need to take. Thank God. And, you know, that's a testimony too, because the doctor's like, you're going to need this for life. And then I don't need it anymore, as of like almost 3 years ago. So praise God. But I was like, I keep it in my house just in case I ever feel the symptoms of a blood clot. Because even before I get to hospital, I can take it and it's not going to harm me. And I know it'll start the process of what it's supposed to do. And it works within 5 minutes. So tell me, man, I'm like, there's Eliquis in the bucket. Like, can you grab it? And come on. And so he was. And so we get to my Nana's house and I'm laying out. Again, I can't really lay down. Nothing's comfortable. I'm in like this excruciating. I probably looked like Bella in Twilight when she was becoming a vampire. If you know what I'm talking about, that is most likely what I looked like. And finally, I'm on this oxygen. Okay, well, the oxygen's not doing anything. And my dad was like, let me see your hands. I don't really know what he was looking for in my hands, but again, he has training. I don't. He's like, okay, you're fine. He's like, does it hurt in the front or the back? And I was like, it hurts in my back. Okay, so he's like, it's not your lungs. Like, your breathing isn't changing with the oxygen and whatever else. So he's like, it's not your lungs. So then my aunt, who's a massage therapist, goes in a massage therapist mode. She's like, okay, this is probably muscular. And so I ended up in like, what pose is that? What pose? Like downward dog, I guess, on the bed. And it was starting to relieve it. It went from like a 9.5 to like an 8. And I was like, wait a minute, this feels great. And so I'm in this position and my aunt immediately is like, okay, this is muscular. And so she touches my back. Again, this is the first time I can sit still and finding something that's comfortable. She goes like this, and she didn't tell me till right now that when she went like this, she felt my whole muscle spasm. So it's a muscle called the eruptor muscle, which goes from like up here down. It's not just one muscle. It's like 9 different muscles, and it goes all the way to your glutes. So it's your whole back. It was on my spine. So what happened is this muscle contracted and spasmed. So like the whole muscle, your whole back, it spasmed up, and the muscle like wraps by your lungs too. So that's why it felt like it couldn't breathe. And once she realized that, she couldn't even massage it out. Like, it was so much pain. She got the heating pad. She's like, I'm gonna go get a heating pad. So she did. She put it on. You couldn't, over time, like, I'm finally starting to calm down. It hurt so bad, but I finally was at a place where I could just be still, be quiet, and like let it work. My man brought like a leave over, and I took my medicine. He got there in time. You could literally feel the muscle move back down my back. And she was telling me, like, well, first, like just through that whole situation, that was just really, really scary because I didn't know if it was my lungs or not because it was stopping my breathing, and it was pretty terrifying. But she's like, you gotta like chill from Pilates, you gotta stretch, and I'm someone, I typically don't stretch before workouts because it never's affected me that I knew of, and I was just like, whatever. But exhibit A, I'm definitely stretching every time now. But she was like, you got to be careful when you're isolating muscles like that. Like if you're not, that's not something you typically do. Like you're working muscles that haven't been worked before. So you're going to have reactions that you haven't had before. And I was like, dang, you're right. So the muscle, you could feel over like maybe the next 30 minutes, the muscle move down. And so I can't take cool. I'm like I guess she's like, you're like your aunt, my other aunt. She's like, she needs heat. She can't do cool or the muscle won't do what it does. And then, so it went back down, and then I was just on this like heating pad rotation all the way up until this morning. And now my back's sore. And when I came back, she was like, it's sore because, again, your muscle had never done that. But that's when she told me, she's like, she touched and she felt it spasm and she knew exactly what it was. So pretty intense. She told me to lay off Pilates for a couple days, which is crazy because I was almost going every day because it feels so good. Like I love Pilates. But moving forward, I'm going to do some exercises to help my body moving forward. And also just like as a fair warning, I feel like this is a fair warning because again, when you try it, they have even free trials to try Pilates, like either through Club Pilates or ClassPass. Even when you just try it, you're going to be like, oh, this is like nothing. It's doing a lot of something. So I'm okay now. I'm just in a little bit of pain and do have a little bit of fear it's going to happen again out of nowhere. I think that was the scariest part, is that I wasn't doing anything. I was just sitting here driving and I just pulled in and I was doing nothing to like trigger it, and it just happened. So I think that's probably the scariest part, but just a fair warning, because I know I talk about Pilates a lot, so I just want to be very candid and open about all the parts of Pilates I've experienced and not just the wonderful benefits. No, this is not going to stop me from going. Yes, it's still my favorite workout, but I've learned a lot, so that's what I wanted to share with you guys, and I hope you guys enjoyed this story. I hope not, but I did hope you learned something, and I will see you guys really, really soon. Love and light. Bye-bye.